ये आपने बहुत मसले में डाल दिया मुझे क्योंकि it's very difficult to kind of encapsulate, especially someone who's your partner, someone you respect a lot.
आप लोग का जो बुक शेल्फ है, how does it work? How do you decide which book to include and which book to read for your club members?
Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Do you know who is it by?
4 साल.
Yeah, we started in 2019. तो ये हमारी मादरी ज़बान पे जैसे बात हो रही है, तो मैं तो आप दुनिया में जाके देख लें, और बड़े बड़ों ने ये बात कही है कि वही कौम कामयाब हुई है और कामयाब है जिन्होंने अपनी ज़बान को इज्जत दी है.
बिल्कुल
बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम. वो बातें तेरी चैनल से नवीद फारूकी का आदाब. आज हम हाजिर अपनी नई पॉडकास्ट सीरीज के साथ, Gen X to Gen Z, with a distinguished guest, which we would like to introduce very soon.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम. वो बातें तेरी के प्लेटफॉर्म से नोया शाह का आपको आदाब है. पहले तो मैं नवीद फारूकी साहब का इंट्रोडक्शन करवाना चाहूँगी, जो कि इस ख्याल के साथ हम दोनों आए कि जेन एक्स टू जेन जी का सफ़र किस तरीके से हम बयान करेंगे वो बातें तेरी के इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे. और ये पॉडकास्ट आज से स्टार्ट होने वाली है, तो आप लोग ने देखना है, समझना है. इसमें बहुत ख़ास मेहमान आएंगे, ख़ास बातें होंगी, ख़ास चीज़ें होंगी आपके लिए और हमारे लिए भी, क्योंकि मैं तो जेन जी हूँ एंड आई एम लर्निंग एवरी
और
डे.
मैं Gen X हूँ. और Gen X जो कि बाबा आराधन की नस्ल से आप कह सकते हैं, but not really. People who were born or raised in 80s, 70s, am I right? Yeah. So we were Gen X, but how we have coped up, that we'll be talking about very soon with our guest. Before that, I would like Noya to introduce or ask the question with our guest. Please, Noya.
तो आज हमारे मेहमान हैं बहुत ख़ास, जो कि आपको बुक्स के बारे में, एजुकेशन के बारे में, लिटरेसी के बारे में आप लोग को बताएंगे अपनी जर्नी के साथ साथ, जो कि हैं मिस कामिला और मिस एरम.
ये माय बुक शेल्फ पे चलाते हैं, बहुत जबरदस्त एक बुक क्लब है जिसको उन्होंने शुरू किया, रन कर रहे हैं. वो सारी इसकी डिटेल, इसकी जर्नी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट. सो आई वुड लाइक Kamila to introduce Erum, and I would like Erum to introduce Kamila. Please go ahead. Assalamu alaikum.
ये आपने बहुत मसले में डाल दिया मुझे क्योंकि it's very difficult to kind of encapsulate, especially someone who's your partner, someone you respect a lot. But I'm going to try. Basically, journey, शुरू हुई थी. Our kids were in class together, and we realized that both of us loved reading. So we would constantly, for years, be exchanging books because, unfortunately, Pakistan में there are not so many sources where you can get, especially जो latest books होती हैं. And that's when our love for reading kind of came to the forefront. And we started My Bookshelf, which is a library we deliver all across Pakistan. And as far as introducing Erum is concerned, I think she is extremely intelligent. I think she's extremely evolved. What I love about her is she keeps learning. She's very literary. And she's also a flower child. Like, she loves nature and, she loves being in those environments.
Yeah.
And whenever I feel stressed or, kind of get anxiety, she's the first person I think of. She's got a very calming energy because I think she's very self-aware. And so, yeah, I really like working with her, and it's been a great journey so far.
Yes, I've seen your Instagram जहाँ पे आप लोग अपने vacation and book के साथ होते हैं. So you're like being yourself, enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
I just love that. I want to be like.
Yeah.
Okay, Erum, please. Introduce Kamila.
Oh, my cheeks are burning after that lovely introduction. Yeah. So yeah, the background is basically what Kamila said. It's been absolutely wonderful working with her as a business partner and a friend, and I've learned a lot from her, not just about business and being creative and marketing a brand, but also about life. And she has a zest for life and, living in the present that I really admire. And I think there are lots of things that I would not have done had she not been behind me, encouraging me. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
मैं आप दोनों से बात पूछना चाहूँगी कि आप लोग का जो बुक शेल्फ है, how does it work? How do you decide which book to include and which book to read for your club members? Well, I'd first just like to clarify that we run a book club, but we are not just a book club. We are actually a library, and we are the first library that in the country that delivers books to our members nationwide. We started off delivering nationwide and picks them up when they are done reading. Wow. So we curate our books very carefully. We purchase them from here, from abroad, and we look at many different things when purchasing a book, which I'm sure Kamila can fill you in on.
Yeah. So I think it's especially when, we don't have kind of any backing. It's not a government-run organization. Jo bhi books hai, wo hamari khud ki hai. We spend our own money buying the books. And the main thing about is, first of all, hum log pirated books nahi lete. It would be so like financially feasible for us कि 200 रुपए की books.
I saw a story.
Yeah. We only buy originals, and Pakistan mein at this point original books are literally 3-4-5,000. But we've tried to kind of stick to our guns, and so kind of curating a list of books that our readers would like. That's a huge part of being a librarian, and we are very kind of in tune with BookTube, Book Twitter, Bookstagram, BookTok. There are all these really, really large platforms globally where authors are like celebrities, and unfortunately hum apne authors ko itni izzat nahi dete, but on a global scale authors are huge, and the global readers are where we get our inspiration from, and the book influencers. And I think Erum and I sit and we kind of curate the list, and then we budget according to that. And yahan to ज़ाहिर बात है बुक्स मिलती नहीं है कभी, तो कोई अगर फैमिली मेंबर अमेरिका से आ रहा है, कनाडा से आ रहा है, उसकी तो खैर नहीं है, बिकॉज वी आर लाइक ये किताब लो, एंड वो excess baggage, and there's a whole thing. But we our family and friends have been very kind, and वो हमेशा ले आते हैं, because यहाँ पे तो Amazon भी
exactly.
is like a pain.
So
yeah.
I want to ask कि इस सब पूरी जर्नी को, इस पूरे टाइम को कितना टाइम हो गया? Like
4 साल.
Yeah, we started in 2019.
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
Like
Pre-COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, pre-COVID. Yeah.
So, wasn't it 2017 or 18?
No, it was 2019.
No, we didn't start.
We started?
Yeah, because I remember attending one of the event.
Huh.
That was not 2019.
That was, I think, winter 2019.
Yeah. Yeah. So already I think 1 saal ho gaya tha us
We
time.
started in around, I think, March of 2019, something like
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll come to that. But I want both of you to answer individually कि ये जो love of book है, obviously किसी को love of music होता है, किसी को और कोई sports का passion होता है. So how long, कितने अरसे से you guys had it individually, obviously, in your own capacity as a child? Were you reading lots of books? Please share that sentiment.
I was actually my parents big readers, very kind of prolific readers, and they would make us read like really, like I think my mom gave me Wuthering Heights when I was like I think 9 or 10 or something, and then my mamu gave me Great Expectations when I was like 11, and Jane Eyre and all these kind of classics. They were making me read at a very kind of young age, and at that time it was a bit irritating, but then when I read Pride and Prejudice, I think that kind of cemented my love of books. I mean, that book just stayed with me. I've read it like hundreds of times, and so I think that love of reading definitely came from my parents. And unfortunately kids nowadays don't have it, especially in Pakistan. They don't have it, and that's sad, and they're missing out.
So I also started reading when I was very young. My mother encouraged a love of books in me, and I think I have always enjoyed reading as like, I enjoyed it as much as playing outside or, having friends over. And I think what really got me into reading were the books of Roald Dahl. I absolutely love his books, the BFG, the Witches, and I loved fairy tales as well.
What's that one quote? If you believe in magic, the glittering something about. Do you know that quote?
I don't know. No.
If you don't believe in the magic or something like that, it's a wonderful quote. I'll think about it and we'll share that. Sorry. And what age was that?
I mean,
That you started reading books? Or
whenever I think as soon as I was learning to read in school, I mean, I don't remember exactly what age, but No, much younger. Like 5 or 6 is when I started reading, and I would repeat books. I would read a book that I love over and over, and that just continued all the way into adulthood. And now I find reading is so relaxing, and it just completely, you get so immersed into a completely different narrative, a different world sometimes if you're reading fantasy. So I think that's probably my favorite thing to do even now.
Yeah. तो आप लोग को तो अब इस चीज़ का अंदाज़ा हो गया कि आजकल के बच्चों में ये शऊर नहीं है और वो पढ़ते नहीं है. Like I do have books. I buy them and they are like sitting in the corner because we don't have time.
Yeah.
We are busy in everything. So I want to ask कि आप लोग के upcoming plans क्या हैं, events क्या हैं for that?
Actually, I want to add to this question because this is a very interesting question.
Okay. Thank you.
Because I was just thinking about it, even putting it myself, and then it also has the relevance to topic Gen Z and
Gen X, yeah.
When we were kids, when we were growing up, even till 90s, when there was no internet, there was no cell phone, there was no Instagram, there was no
Social media. Okay.
Lives were different. We had a lot of time. Now we don't have time. Cricket match used to be a test match and 5 day or 1 day. Now cricket match has become T20. Instagram has come to the reels, and YouTube has come to the shorts. Very short span of time. We scroll and we watch, and I run a YouTube channel, and I know that any video which is more than a minute long, nobody watches it. So now children don't have, or even us don't have that temperament, that element of having a time to read or even do anything which takes time. So how would you? I would want each one of you to share your sentiment on that. How do you see this going, and what's happening in addition to what she's asked? So please share your.
Sure. Basically, the issue is, first of all, I don't think that it's an easy cop out to say कि time नहीं है. I think अगर आपको कोई चीज़ करनी है, आप उसके लिए time बना लेते हैं. So first of all, I think we all need to understand that. Secondly, I feel जो हमारी generation, especially the current generation, I really truly believe, and there are a lot of books to support it, including the book I'm reading right now. There's something called neuroplasticity, right? So your experiences basically make your brain into a default setting. So आपकी जो experiences है, that's exactly what your brain's default is going to be. Nowadays, the kids, what do they need? They need instant gratification. Exactly. As you said, कि वो 10 minute की video वो नहीं बैठ के देखेंगे. Exactly. Reels, they say कि वो the most successful reels are the 15-second reels, because more than that, we're like, we can't deal with it. So my point is to try and equate Gen Z to Gen X, it's not going to happen, because we were a much kind of calmer generation. We had a lot more free time. As you said, social media wasn't there. Even in our time, though, there used to be BTV tha, and then STN came, and there used to be wo baad mein. So, we had a lot of time to sit and read and to contemplate and to be with our own thoughts. Nowadays, kids are not like that. So I think to even expect that from them is, I think, misguided. However, I will say this, that I think parents have a lot to do with whether your child takes out that time for themselves and sits and reads. Like this summer, I told my son, I said, I don't care what you do. And again, there's football and Fortnite and 20 other things, but I said, you have to read a book. And I changed my own, the way I think, because I'm giving him all these old-timer books that worked for me. And if I give him like a 15-year-old child, I'm going to give him Pride and Prejudice. He's not going to read it. He's not going to enjoy it. So no, but we did, right? So I gave him a book that I thought he would enjoy. Yeah. A book about real life, a book about real events, about a real personality. And sure enough, he really enjoyed it. And he ended up reading it like in a week. So when I say curate books, that is so important. You have to give the child the kind of book that they would enjoy. And I'm going to turn this over to Erum, because I know her sons read a lot, so she probably has more wisdom on this.
Well, one of my sons reads a lot, and I think there's this quote that I love, that everybody is a reader, and if they're not, they just haven't found the right book. And reading, I think people think of reading where it has to be this fat tome and it has to be a classic or something well-known, but I agree with Kamila. It could be a graphic novel. It could be an Archie comic.
Yeah.
But also, I think there are alternatives. I mean, it's not easy for children now to just sit down and read. I think they have a lot less patience than I do because what Kamila said, there's instant gratification. I mean, I remember we used to wait for the Cybernet dial-up.
Yeah.
And each web page would take a minute or two to upload it. We'd be sitting there waiting like, well, this is fast, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not I don't think we can put the same expectations of our generation onto this generation. And I think one great alternative is to either watch a TED Talk, which my son who doesn't read, I have him watch TED Talks, or listen to an audiobook. You know,
I was going to, good that you mentioned, am I not taking over you, but I have to ask this since you mentioned this. And this is a very concerning question because I was just thinking about it. I keep thinking about it. And I was reading that somebody wrote that this is the last century for the books, or this was the last century.
Yeah, that's scary.
And it was very sad. And it made me actually sort of cry because I'm a sort of person, I love books. And I, as a child, I've been reading books. And for me, if I don't have the feeling of having a book in my hand, the paper, the cover, I would not be able to read. So I tried Kindle, I tried all sorts of things, but I wasn't able to read. So do you guys think that now that these things will take over? Has it? Are they the technology?
Yeah.
Or no?
I think you'll always have people like us who need to have the physical book.
Yeah.
And I know I've said to people, you know, I will admit I turn the pages, if it's my own book, to bookmark it because I like seeing all the places that I stopped reading. I like to highlight and make notes. And that people have said you can highlight and make notes in the Kindle, but it's still not the same thing. I like to have the book.
No.
Yeah.
And also there's been a global resurgence of the physical books, at least on a global scale. I don't think this is true of Pakistan because I think we're not a reading culture. We're not a reading society. Lahore is more than Karachi for sure. Lahore is more literary. I think there are more events and more culture, and they promote it more. But I think globally like apparently physical books are coming back. The sales have increased because people have realized that staring at a screen and reading having something tangible in your hand, the feel of it, you know, the sensory experience of reading, you can't get that with the screen. And if you're trying to get your child away from the screen and then you're giving him a screen to read, then that's like kind of negates the purpose. So I don't see the benefit of that.
I feel that when we were kids, even in our neighborhood, kids would do, I don't see that anymore, that if I had 10 books, I would have one in that way. I would rent to my friends, and I would charge rupees or 50 paisa for a rental. So that, and also there were more bookstores.
Yeah.
I remember there used to be a big bookstore. I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys are from Karachi, there used to be a bookstore called Sasi Book Center.
Yeah.
In front of Awari.
Yeah.
These huge bookstores.
Yeah.
So the bookstores like Paramount or Borders, it was like that back then. I'm talking about mid 80s. So we don't have that anymore.
No.
What we have is Liberty Books.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how come it's just not there anymore? Do you think because people stop reading, the concept of internet has taken over? What is it?
I think, honestly, I feel like TikTok, like the TikTok generation, I think it's actually ruined an entire generation. The amount of like makeup tutorials. I mean, how many makeup tutorials do you need to see in one day? And you know, that's what I'm saying. And if you see, like, if you just go on TikTok and, I mean, or you go on Instagram and you see the kind of content out there, it's fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not a killer joy. Everyone should do what's, you know, working for them. Yeah. But it's so kind of vapid and there's no depth to it. There's no substance. And I think as a culture, it's a commentary on where we are right now and how self-destructive we are being. There's no kind of thirst for knowledge. We are focusing so much on the external, like how we look. We are kind of sexist. We are ageist. Like, God forbid a woman ages, you know, even if she's like 60 years old, she should look really good. No one cares about her inner mind, like her heart or her mind or, you know, intellectual internal growth, which is so important because you can't stop aging, right? But your mind is the same. Like whether you're like whatever 16 or 86, your mind can still shine. And I think that we've lost as a nation and as a culture, and that's sad.
That's that.
Erum, your take on the fact that we don't have more libraries or bookstores anymore in Karachi. I'm talking about.
I think there's not enough demand to support the supply. I think there's not enough help and encouragement from agencies like the government or, that could help and support. Because, a bookstore can generate profit. A library is not really a profit generating thing, And I think that also, to speak to the Kamila's point, there's a lack of interest. The priorities and the interest has shifted onto things that are more surface. There's less emphasis, even though there is a whole culture of self-care and, be the best you can be in the therapy culture. But I find that very vapid and surface level also.
And also, like I said, I mean, if I remember when we were handling the first name, people do, I would ask friends everywhere in the world, or even here, find the books to put in things, or we were childhood and all that. Now, or even if we were to book something, let's say,
then
go there, YouTube it.
Yeah.
So we don't need a book for that. So technology has played a major role to make it go down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think
The readers, who are the readers, they will remain the readers.
I agree.
And they would be more.
Yeah, exactly.
सो जैसे कि हमारी बात हो रही है जेंजी के हवाले से, सो आई नो बहुत सारे जेंजीज हमें सुन रहे होंगे, देख रहे होंगे. सो मैं भी आपसे पूछना चाह रही हूँ कि आजकल आप क्या पढ़ रही हैं आप दोनों, और क्या रिकमेंड करना चाहेंगी हमारे जेंजीज को, वो उस चीज़ से कुछ सीख सकें, कुछ पढ़ कहीं से तो शुरुआत कर सकें.
नहीं, जेन जी को भी रिकमेंडेशन बताएं और जेन एक्स को भी बताएं.
वो बड़े अलग अलग हो गए, तो मैं नेक्स्ट नहीं करूँगी ना. So I think
we want कि आप अपनी बताएं और आप अपनी.
हाँ जरूर. So I recommend more kind of non-fiction for Gen Z, because I think they are more rooted in reality. They like to know about the world around them. So I would, as far as biographies are concerned and autobiographies are concerned, there's a book called Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. It's excellent, and he's talked about his journey कि वो कहाँ South Africa में जो apartheid से कहाँ वो America, he's now like hosting, he was the Daily Show, तो उसका journey was so inspirational. Then there's this other book called Power by Robert Greene, and it's taken like all these kind of nuggets of wisdom from centuries, from leaders and statesmen and revolutionaries, and kind of compacted into strategies that we can use today to become powerful, to become good businessmen. And then there's another book called The Psychology of Money, since Gen Z is obsessed with making money. So it just kind of teaches them how to perceive money in in a different way. जो हमारे माँ बाप, the way they talk about money and कि घर लेना चाहिए, and all these strategies that they had, so it kind of appends that, and it gives you some kind of new perspectives on money. So these are definitely books that this generation would enjoy.
Any name?
Yeah, The Psychology of Money. Yeah, that's the name of the book. Yeah. Great.
Thank you.
Wow. पैसे की नफ्सियात.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Okay, and as far as kind of just regular books that are beautiful and immersive, I love historical fiction. I love stories about World War II. So one of the most beautiful books I've read is called The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. It is just stunning, and it's going to make you cry, and it's going to stay with you for a long time after you've read it. And I also really urge readers to read local authors. We've got some great authors. We've got Omar Shahid Hamid, we've got Zain Said, Safina Danish Ilahi, Taha Kehar, Kamla Shamsi, of course, she's world renowned. We've got Oais Khan, who's a very prolific author. So we've got a lot of local talent, and it's really sad that they're not kind of more widely known, and then they should be celebrities, because there are a handful of them that are literally trying to revive like a dying industry. So instead of kind of putting them to the corner and watching 20,000 TikToks of just someone like dancing, like we should, at least give them their their due respect, and we should read their books, because they're really, really good books, and so yeah.
This is amazing, Kamila, because before we go to Erum, I want to add to this, because you just said in one word, and this means the whole concept, which brings back to my philosophy of doing this podcast and the channel thing. And you said celebrity, writers being celebrity. And I totally agree with you. And I also agree that for me, you guys are celebrity because you guys are sitting here. You guys are heroes because for me, someone who's famous, who's an actor, who's a singer, is not just them are the celebrities. Who are successful, who made the money, not this. For me, they're not celebrities. Not just the celebrities, but people like you and her are the celebrities. Writers are the celebrities. And that's the whole point of bringing that and archiving their conversation, their thoughts for the children and the generations to come.
Yeah.
And to witness and to acknowledge that who were the real celebrities. Because पहले तो ये होता था कि हमारे यहाँ अखबारों में और जरीदों में और अफसानों में हर जगह चीजें लिखी जाती थी, इंग्लिश न्यूज़पेपर में हर जगह पर, जो राइटर्स थे खास तौर पे, जो रीडर्स थे उनको इम्पोर्टेंस मिलती थी, अब नहीं मिलती।
बिल्कुल।
This is the whole point of bringing or telling everybody that who are the real celebrities, because what you guys are doing, the library thing, the entire Pakistan, it's a great initiative, and I will talk about it in a bit. But before that, I will go back to Erum. Please go ahead with your recommendations for the books, as Noya asked for the Generation Z and Generation X.
Well, that's my favorite thing to do is recommend books. I usually end up recommending the same ones because my favorite books don't really change.
Okay.
So for our generation, I would recommend The House of the Spirits by Isabella Allende. It's a beautiful book. It's magical realism. And also Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, which is it's beautiful. Yeah, and if I like a book, as I said, I read it repeatedly. Also, another really good book, which is for both generations, is Becoming Supernatural. I forget the name of the author, but it's sort of like new age, getting to know yourself, being self-aware. But it's not done in a very sort of, mumbo jumbo type way. It's very clear. So I like that. And for the younger generation, I think books by author Rick Riordan are great. Dogman. And if we're thinking of a classic, the Anne of Green Gables series, which is also one of my favorite, and anything by Roald Dahl, who, by the way, also has wonderful short stories for adults, which are really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine just sent me a package of those books, and they were amazing, small short stories, and I read a few, and I agree with you. His work is amazing. And coming back to the ones that you just mentioned, what's that book? One book that I read and I really liked, Shantaram.
Yeah, Shantaram. Fantastic. Shantaram.
Shantaram.
Yeah.
Who's the writer?
It's with a G. I don't know.
I did not finish
Gregory something. Yeah.
I stopped reading it.
Yeah. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic book. I absolutely loved it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. It's one of those books I feel that should be bigger than it is. Those underrated books. It's fantastic. I agree. Yeah. And also I'd like to add Harry Potter. And even though, of course, it's been read to death, but I feel any kid that's not reading, you give them Harry Potter, they will read it. My son read it, I think 7, 8 way, he just read all of them. I mean, it is such a great immersive read for kids of any age, So yeah, definitely.
Okay, now I'm going to ask them some very interesting, rather sensitive questions.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Let's brace ourselves.
But again, I would want your honest opinion on that. First of all, be honest and answer me. Do men read books? Do you guys know?
I think I know maybe 3 men that read.
100 women or 1,000?
Out of 1,000.
Yeah, maybe more. Yes. Most of our members of my bookshelf are
Women.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
why is it? What's up? I mean, it's the same thing. That आदमी को अपनी मर्दानगी या manhood से फुर्सत मिले या अपने golf से फुर्सत मिले या अपनी bragging से फुर्सत मिले. I'm not against men, but just I feel sad and bad because I attended one of your sessions. There were like 17, 18 ladies and just 2 guys. One was me, this other boy was there. And I was just thinking, where are they? Maybe you guys didn't invite them. Maybe they were, but I realized men are not into books. And then also, I was running a support group long time back. It was emotional wellness. So 2013, and we used to run group therapies for emotional well-being with psychologists and psychiatrists. तो उस वक्त भी मुझे ये फील होता था आदमियों के लिए टैबू था कि वो समझते नहीं थे कि there is a thing called semi emotional well-being, psychological well-being. कि वो कहते थे हम पागल थोड़ी हैं कि हमें जरूरत पड़ेगी इस चीज़ की. So why is it? Even Pakistan में शायद ज़्यादा है, हो सकता है globally universally भी हो. So please share your sentiment on the fact that कि आदमी क्यों नहीं किताब पढ़ते या नहीं पढ़ रहे. The ratio that you just said is just not very good.
Well, I think you answered it sort of in the question when you said mardangi se fursat mile, and also I think that I'm just speaking for Pakistan. You know, it's a very macho culture, and I will say this buzzword, the toxic patriarchy, and there are certain things that men do that are looked down upon or considered that's for women, or and one of those, as you said, is emotional well-being. I mean, what Pakistani man is gonna be aware enough to say I need therapy and actually go do it, for example, and I think maybe just books and reading falls into that same category where it's just not a priority. It's not considered a fun activity.
Yeah, I think उनको ऐसा लगता है कि उनके पास सारी knowledge है already.
Yeah.
They hold it.
Yeah.
They hold
उनको
it.
किताबें पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं.
And I
उनको
think
बताने की
we
जरूरत
live
नहीं.
right now in an extremely like polarized world. Yani ki it's like woman or man, and it's like the colors or the household duties, everything is gendered. I don't know why, because at the end of the day, everyone's just human beings. वही ना, ये लड़की के कपड़े, लड़की के कपड़े. I mean, everything is gendered, I feel, and of course, कुछ चीजें होनी चाहिए gendered, of course, but I'm saying like something like reading. Somewhere along the line, it kind of, someone said that real men don't read. So absolutely, and because someone must have said it.
Add something.
Someone must have said it. I don't know.
I want to add something
Yeah,
here.
yeah, I agree, because you know why? Because obviously we deal with hundreds and hundreds of readers, and the percentage of men who we deal with is like what, 0.0001%.
But
So why is that?
Okay, I'm being very honest. At some point, being part of your book club initially, I thought maybe you guys were a little reluctant to include or have.
No, but that's also true. That is also true.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, the kind of society we live in, I mean, there is that huge trust factor. I mean, if we're going to hold a book club at, a restaurant or at our home sometimes, I can't have like some 20 men who I don't know and I've never met. So there is that.
You don't know what their real intentions are.
Very true. And also that kind of goes back to, why are we so distrustful? I'm not like 16 years old. I've lived life. Why do I not feel safe doing that? Why does my father or husband or brother or mother, like if I told them, oh yeah, 20 guys are coming to the house for book club, every one of those people would be like, are you crazy? You can't do that. So then that also like begs the question, कि क्यों नहीं safety हम लोग क्यों नहीं safe feel करते?
We are living a privileged life.
Yeah.
We are in it. But मैं यहाँ पे शेयर करना चाहूँगी कि अभी आप लोग उन लोगों से आप जानते होंगे, सुना होगा कि वो किताबें पढ़ने नहीं देते औरतों को, because they think कि यार किताबें पढ़ने देंगे तो उनके दिमाग खराब हो जाएंगे.
बिल्कुल.
ये अपने से ऊंचा सोचने लगेंगे, अपने से आगे चलने की सोचने लगेंगे. So that's the.
They say that there's nothing as dangerous as a well-read woman. Yeah. She's And by danger, like the word danger, they're just saying that she has an opinion, that she has agency, that she wants to make choices about her life or what she wears, but
बहुत बड़ी हो
वो बहुत तो वो भी गवारा नहीं है हमें, उससे भी हमें कहते हैं कि ये तो dangerous woman है, so it's sad.
I would like to divert you from this a bit, from the books, because something that you said, and I feel necessary to actually have an opinion from you both, literate women. You just said that आदमियों का एक टैबू होता है घर में, फैमिली में बुलाना, 20 लोगों को, आपको ट्रस्ट एलिमेंट है, हम जिस माशरे में हैं, वहाँ कुछ सोसाइटी ने, कुछ लोगों ने हालात ऐसे पैदा कर दिए हैं कि हम नहीं कर सकते, which is very much understandable. But इसकी एक flip side भी है. वो flip side पे मैं, there's the movie that I'm working on, the script पे हम काम कर रहे हैं, and that is basically a very sensitive issue these days in माशरा हमारे घरों में वो ये है कि when there's a boy and tell me how to address this. This is just the feedback I would want from you both. That हमारे घर में जब बच्चा होता है उस बच्चे को बॉय है या गर्ल है हमें कोई इशू नहीं होता कि उसका मेल फ्रेंड या लड़की का फीमेल फ्रेंड आए नाइट स्पेंड करें डे स्पेंड करें कमरे में बंद रहें वी आर गुड विद इट अगर बच्चे का फीमेल फ्रेंड आती है या लड़की का मेल फ्रेंड आता है तो वी आर वेरी कॉन्शियस इंश्योर कि आप ये जल्दी चला जाए रात को नहीं रुके एक्टिविटी एंड मॉनिटर हो ये रहा है हुआ ये है पिछले कुछ सालों में जो मैं ऑब्जर्व कर रहा हूँ जिस पर मैं काम भी कर रहा हूँ ये चीज हैज gotten our children the kids experiment and explore the other side of of things that we don't want to name we don't want to say but this is happening the LGBT thing which some guys or some people are very much for it I am not. So what do you have to say on that? If you want to share something on that, कि क्या ये ठीक है कि हम बच्चे को बच्चे के साथ रहने और उठने बैठने देते हैं, सोने देते हैं, और लड़की को लड़की के साथ रहने में क्या हमें दोनों केसेस में very vigilant वो रहना चाहिए?
I just think, there's been this kind of pushback against, first of all, helicopter parenting, But I think brown families में वो helicopter parents होते हैं और होनी चाहिए, not to the point of suffocation, but I think that till your children are at an age where they are completely autonomous individuals, वो अपने decisions खुद बना रहे हैं अपनी, they've been educated enough, they're fully baked rather. I think absolutely, whether it's, two girls hanging, two boys hanging, girl boy hanging, I feel you should keep an eye on what's happening. I don't think बिल्कुल ही उनको खुली छुट्टी, I don't think at all till they are grown, and once inshallah they go to college, then to you're not there anyways, right? Then you can't even control their actions. Then what they choose to do with their life or who they choose to love or whatever they do, you don't have a say at that point. So before that, what's happening in your house, definitely I think that you should be involved in. I believe in that. Yeah.
You have to say?
I agree with Kamila. I think that, yes, up to a certain age, phase of life, children need supervision. However, I also think that in our society, especially, we are almost chained up by this thought of log kya kahenge.
Exactly.
Okay.
Every facet of your life, especially if you're a woman, you always have that niggling thought at the back of your head in somebody else's voice. It could be your mother's voice or your mother-in-law's voice. It's always there. And it's this sort of underlying current of constantly worrying about what people will think. So I think there has to be a balance.
Yeah.
The high factor.
Yeah. Absolutely.
मैं तो उस एज से निकल आई हूँ जहाँ पे पेरेंट्स की वो सुपरविजन होता था, देखते थे हर चीज। 6-7 दिन पहले नहीं, वीकली नहीं हूँ, बट मुझे अब चाहिए, मजीद चाहिए, क्योंकि अब मुझे ये बात समझ आती है कि उनका पर्सपेक्टिव्स क्या थे, वो किस तरीके से सोचते थे, वो गलत नहीं थे, दे आर राइट। लेकिन वो आई जस्ट रेड अ कोट, नो इट वाज अ मीम एक्चुअली, तो उसमें ये था कि मेरी अम्मी सही तो कहती थी बट उनकी जो टोन थी ना उसकी वजह,
सही बात,
so we are like that, right?
Before I go on with my next question, कभी-कभी मुझे I feel proud of the fact that I am sitting with a person who's Gen X, okay, and being like I said, you guys are also Gen X, and how do you relate to be conversing, or do you have any friend apart from your own children to interact with anybody from Gen Z regarding anything recently or otherwise?
I think, we are, I think as a world and as a society, we're so obsessed with age. I really think that it doesn't matter. You know, through my bookshelf, like we've had to learn so much, like social media, editing videos, TikTok, how to make reels, blah blah blah, all of this stuff, you know, and it was a bit of an uphill battle, but I mean, you know, I feel it's a mentality and it's a mindset. If you want to learn something, which during COVID, koi cooking seekh raha hai, koi gardening seekh raha hai, koi coffee, you know, this Dalgona coffee, it's because you took out that time and you know, develop that skill. So if you want to do something, I think you can learn anything that Gen X knows, Gen Z knows, Gen Y, whatever. I feel it's just a mindset. You want to put your mind to something, you want to learn something, you are going to do it. I know so many of my friends, they are learning guitar, they are learning, French, I mean, whatever.
I'm learning, singing and harmony.
There you go. It's like, you know, good for you. Like, why should we, you know, kind of be so hung up on age and abhi to guzar gaya, to now forget it. No, like don't be dead till you're dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
I think Kamila was a lot quicker at learning all the social media stuff than I was. I was very slow at that. But also I think I don't know if I read it somewhere or I watched it somewhere that somebody was saying that it's good to have friends of all ages. So it's good to have friends and acquaintances that are of your own age, those that are much older than you, and also those that are much younger than you, not necessarily your children. And in this way, you get a well-rounded perspective on life and on the points of views of different generations.
Great.
Yeah.
On that note, I want to ask you, you guys also started discussions and interviewing people and talking to people.
Yes.
How was that experience?
That was a lot of fun. It was
Yeah.
called The Tea with My Bookshelf.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and we've
I saw
filmed...
lots of episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you watched it. So we filmed 2 seasons of it, and the philosophy behind that was to invite not only authors and writers, but people who are doing things of interest in Karachi and interesting people to speak to. So we had a lot of fun. We had some wonderful personalities on there. We had Muhammad Yanir, Sharmeen Obed, Janoy. We had architect Zen Mustafa.
Yeah.
So we had everybody from nutritionists to architects, to authors, to filmmakers, to actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just
So
stopped it. Or you guys intend to do it again?
No, we will be at some point season 3. When we get the time.
Yeah, you guys should do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it.
Because, you know, being a part of book club,
Yeah.
doing something
Yeah.
out of the box.
Yeah. No, it was good. We had a
you.
good time. And also, as you said before, that like there's enough celebrity content out there, and there are these really amazing people doing amazing things. तो उनको दिखाना चाहिए कि वो क्या
वही
कर
देखकर
रहे हैं,
मुझे
you
लगा
know.
था कि इन दोनों को
Yeah,
लाना चाहिए
yeah.
कि because you guys were doing something which is different.
Yeah.
I thought that these guys are on the right track, but इनको
Yeah.
कौन करेगा?
Yeah.
So मैं-
Now we're at the other end of it. Yeah.
I would like to share a quote. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. You know who is it?
is it Roald Dahl?
Yes, your favorite writer. One
Yes.
of your favorite writers. Amazing. On that point, I would want to move on to a next question, which again, I was just thinking, I was thinking about it. You guys do a wonderful job, and then I really appreciate it. But my concern is, why not Urdu books? And because I feel that वो भी एक एरिया है हमारी अपनी लैंग्वेज है मदर टंग है एक तरह से और उस पे भी होना चाहिए कुछ ना कुछ उसको कोई भी नहीं कर रहा सॉरी लेट मी फिनिश द क्वेश्चन बिकॉज़ अगेन उर्दू में भी बहुत बड़े बड़े राइटर्स हैं बड़े जबरदस्त राइटर्स हैं वो अपना एक अदब है लिटरेचर है और शायद वो खत्म हो इंग्लिश से ज्यादा बिल्कुल अब तो पढ़ी मेरी शायद जनरेशन तक थे लोगों ने पढ़ी हो किताबें और किसी I'm a leader and a promoter of Urdu also. तो उस सिलसिले में कुछ बताएंगे आप तो प्लीज
We actually have an Urdu section on our library. We do. We absolutely do for adults and children. Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel Urdu readership in general is not that good. We've not had such a response for our Urdu books as we've had for English. And I do wonder whether it's just a readership going down in general, or whether more of the Urdu readers are switching to English, and because of the the system of education.
There's a reason for it.
अच्छा, हाँ.
There's a reason for that. वो reason ये है कि English पढ़ो तो English सीखोगे.
हाँ.
English देखो
we go and watch
हाँ,
Netflix,
हाँ,
we listen songs in English.
हाँ,
इस तरीके की चीजें तो हमारे पेरेंट्स भी यही बात करते हैं
बिल्कुल.
कि जो आप पढ़ रहे हो तो उर्दू में नहीं पढ़
Yeah.
तो इंग्लिश में पढ़ो.
Yeah. So see, I feel that's a deterrent because Urdu is such a beautiful language. With my nani, she used to read me like Mirza Ghalib and Mir Taki Mir, and I mean they were stunning. Just I don't even think you can express those concepts in English. बहुत खूबसूरत है.
Urdu ki because I write myself.
हाँ.
And I would like to talk to you at a different forum about Urdu books and how we can, how you can have more Urdu things in your club and have it going. Ghalib की translation हुई है English में 17 different translations है English में और 17 different लोगों ने की हैं और वो लोग थे जो कि उर्दू और इंग्लिश के scholars थे और वो translations पिछले 150 साल में different times में हुई हैं. उनकी बहुत सारी पोइट्री है. उनकी जो मेजर पोइट्री उनका जो काम था वो फारसी में था. उर्दू में उनका बहुत कम काम था. उनका काम जो उन्होंने उर्दू में करना था वो 22 साल की उम्र तक उन्होंने कर दिया. From 22 till 52 he was writing in Farsi. And from 52 he got the उस्ताद बन गए थे ये अपना बहादुर शाह जफर के बादशाह के. तो फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने सिखाना शुरू कर दिया था लेकिन उनकी मेजर राइटिंग तो कुछ इनका जल भी गया था. तो कहते ये हैं कि गालिब के लिए जो 17 ट्रांसलेशंस हैं उनकी एक मिसाल के तौर पे एक गजल है आह को चाहिए कुम्र असर होने तक कौन जीता है तसव्वुर के सर होने तक और ये पूरी एक गजल है. तो किसी ने इस गजल को बताया और कहने लगे कि जिस 17 ट्रांसलेशन को छोड़ दे सारी पोइट्री को छोड़ दे सारी गजलों को एक गजल का एक शेर उसकी मीनिंग 17 में डिफरेंट.
Wow.
Now imagine कि how difficult it is to actually पोइट्री को किसी भी लैंग्वेज से दूसरी लैंग्वेज में लेकर जाना.
To get the essence of it. हाँ, बिल्कुल.
So उसके लिए उर्दू पढ़नी जरूरी है.
Yeah, बिल्कुल.
समझनी जरूरी है.
बिल्कुल.
उसकी नसाकत उर्दू की जो सेंसिटिविटी है उर्दू का जो रोमांस है वो अपना एक नेक्स्ट लेवल है. और उसकी खूबसूरती भी उस लिहाज से है. तो उसी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मैं चाहूंगा कि आप अपने क्लब के अंदर हाँ आप बता रही थी कि आप लोग आपके पास सेक्शन है. What is it? Could you tell us more about the Urdu section?
Shuni, so we have like a lot of Urdu books that I think
well-known Urdu novels like Teri, Kamila, these well-known ones. We also have Noya Shah's books, and
I'm so glad you read it.
I think one thing with Urdu readership is that we need, I think, more contemporary voices. So, for example, one of Muhammad Hanif's books was translated to Urdu. In that way, it would have the possibility of reaching perhaps a wider audience. If some of our contemporary writers' works were also translated into Urdu, like authors like Kamila has mentioned, Dahakir, Safina Danishalai, or Shahid Hamid, maybe it would reach a broader range and maybe perhaps attract a different audience of Urdu readers.
You know, I was at school, I used to run a Urdu club for children, whereby I would tell them stories in Urdu. You guys remember when we were kids, you might have remembered, there used to be called cassette kahani. Urdu में आती थी. Audio थी वो. उससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता था. और
I think Bilal Maqsood is doing some. He just started. So something. Absolutely.
तो वो अच्छा है.
बिल्कुल.
Initiative तो इस किस्म का हमारे बच्चों के लिए करना चाहिए. But बड़ों को तो and most of my friends who went to and any normal school, they can't even read Urdu. हालांकि पढ़ाई जाती थी.
Very sad.
So that's sad, but this is actually dying. But I feel that it's our duty. जितने भी हम capacity में इसको अपने promote कर सकते हैं, encourage कर सकते हैं, highlight कर सकते हैं, करना चाहिए.
और एक हमारा एक जो colonial hangover है, वो खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा. Which I mean, we are all kind of products of it. अच्छा भी है, बुरा भी है, but we kind of need to really get over that and start. No, just promoting our own culture and our own language.
हमने अपना start किया था series whereby we were doing reading उर्दू की books, major books जो epic books हैं, उनको हम audio में convert कर रहे थे. और उसमें मैंने series बनाई कोई 17 recordings I've done it on SoundCloud. And I want to bring it on video form.
That's really amazing.
Because that way people don't have time to read it, or they can't read it, but they might be able to see it or listen to it.
Because even like if you see our Urdu dramas, I mean, the content has a lot to be desired. I have been, Ankahi and Dhoop Kinare and
I've seen you.
Tanhaya. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. And beautiful female centric stories, which we've kind of lost.
It's so natural.
So natural. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's just isko thappad mara, phir usko thappad mara. I mean, that's all I see.
So fast.
Even though I watch Tere Bid, I watch the whole thing.
मैं तो कभी ना देखो.
I respect you for that.
Because पहले वो teasers वगैरह देखे थे मैंने. Oh, bro.
Yeah. You're like, not for me.
Not for me. तो ये हमारी मादरी ज़बान पे जैसे बात हो रही है, तो मैं तो आप दुनिया में जाके देख लें और बड़े बड़ों ने ये बात कही है कि वही कौम कामयाब हुई है और कामयाब है जिन्होंने अपनी ज़बान को इज्जत दी है.
बिल्कुल.
बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है.
जी, I would like to ask you both. मैंने पूछा है और आपने पढ़ाई क्या की? एजुकेशन क्या है आपकी?
Quite unremarkable. I mean, I went to Convent of J.S. and Mary. Then I did my A-levels. Then I went to California. Actually, I did college over there at Chapman and worked for a few years there. Then came back.
So you are an LA woman.
Yeah, love. That's my hood. Southern California.
I love that city as well.
Yeah.
The state.
Yeah.
And have you heard the song? LA woman.
Yes.
By the Doors.
Yeah.
And what about yourself?
I went to college in Boston. I did my undergrad, to Bentley. I did my undergrad from Bentley and I did my master's from Northeastern. So, and then I also worked there and then came back.
And schooling in Karachi?
It was some in Karachi and some in other parts, some in the States, some here and there. I used to move around a lot when I was younger.
What was the whole idea or concept of my bookshelf? What brought you together? Were you together as a friend before? And then
Well, we knew
Sure,
each other before, and because our children went to the same school. And then I remember once we started talking about books, and I gave her a book, and she gave me a book. And then I remember a WhatsApp conversation where we were saying, wouldn't it be lovely to just have a cafe where we just drink tea and read books all day?
Yeah.
And then we just started talking from there. And then the idea of a lending library came up. I don't know if you want to add in.
I want to be a part of it.
Huh?
I want to be part of it.
Yeah, please join.
I know.
No, it was just, we saw there was a kind of a void, there was resources in ET. Every time we'd see a book and I'd go to Liberty, or even though readings in Lahore is actually good, they have a good selection, but we'd never find it here. Then I'd be like, Mamu, Chacha, friend, please, ye book la de. And we're like, wouldn't it be great to give people access to these books, And so it was born out of necessity, literally, They say na necessity is the mother of invention. That's literally what this was.
तो आप लोग की weekends पे होते हैं या weekdays में sessions होते हैं?
Book club के?
जी.
No, book club we host it every 2 to 3 months because we need to give them time to read the book. इतनी जल्दी नहीं पढ़ता. Yeah. No. So we do the men who we know, that's fine. But it's just like if someone we don't know at all, then they were a bit apprehensive. Yeah.
But to speak to, sorry, you asked about our sessions. The library itself is online. You can go to the website at any point. We do delivery once a week. But our library book club session, but the library is always...
Yeah. We have a website, so it's all through the website.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, besides you two, would you like to mention anybody else who was behind or who helped or without behind the scenes चल रहा था, कोई inspiration, कोई motivation, कोई contribution, anybody?
Actually, no. I'm gonna.
Actually, it was all out. To be honest, we did everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
नहीं,
like literally, I'm not joking. Like even जब हमने hire भी किया ना किसी को कोई digital content ये वो, we didn't like the aesthetic. We're like, खुद ही करो. So we were like at one point doing everything from the post to the deliveries. We were doing everything ourselves.
I am like that.
Yeah.
Same.
So we were,
How much time do you guys spend? For now, but is you reading a book? Do you guys read every day?
I read every day.
Yeah, we actually
we read. We're
quite prolific.
Yeah, we're quite.
Finish a book in like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Down, you put your phone down.
She's better than me. Once I start that doom scrolling, you're just like and it's such an addiction because then you're like, oh my God, 2 घंटे गुजर जाते हैं and you're just going on and on. It's horrible, you know. So sometimes I need that detox. So I just put my phone in another room and I just pick up a book.
I have to read before sleeping, even if my eyes are closing and it's just 2 pages though. I don't know, it's something about my whole sleep routine that nice dedication.
How do you guys differentiate in personal reading preference or reading for the bookshelf, my bookshelf, or is it the same?
No, she generally doesn't like the stuff I read, and I generally don't like the stuff that anybody reads.
So how do you balance that?
I mean, I think it works because we're so different.
I think she is
eclectic.
I think she's really good with reading what she wants. I'm more like reading what's popular. So yeah, I think yeah.
Okay, and that's great. What's your plan ahead from now on? How do you see my bookshelf 5 years from now or in future? Any plans?
Well, I mean, we really love what we're doing. We love being able to offer people the books they want to read. We off and on branch off into products. So we have candles, vintage books and jasmine, really our candles. Sometimes we make T-shirts that are centered around books. Yes, and we also had tote bags.
Tote bags. We have tote bags.
So we sometimes do different
things that are like bookish merchandise, basically. Yeah. And I think the future, basically, it's, you know, you got to promote reading. You got to promote literacy. I think, if I'm not wrong, only 2 to 3% of our GDP is assigned to education, and I'm pretty sure it's around that. Our literacy rate in Pakistan, I think it's 50-60%, something like, not even, you know, exactly. So my point is, like, all of this, I mean, it sounds really nice and it sounds fun, but if you go deeper, it's to promote education, to promote literacy, especially for women. You know, the more women read, the more aware they'll be of what's happening outside of their own surroundings, you know.
You can read when you know how to read.
But exactly.
And I've seen, मतलब मैंने तो ऐसे schools देखे हैं जो कि बने हुए हैं, वहाँ पे स्ताज़ा नहीं है.
बिल्कुल.
स्ताज़ा.
बिल्कुल.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do that. Teachers will. I'm bad too. तो इस बात पे मैं ये कहूँगी कि मैंने ऐसे स्कूल देखे हैं जो कि बने हुए हैं सालों साल से, वहाँ टीचर्स नहीं है.
नहीं तो हम लोग कभी ना स्कूल्स में जाते हैं, we do book drives where we collect, like once we did a book drive, I think we gave away 3,000 books.
That was for the
Pursakon Mela. We actually said, you guys give us, we were there for Pursakon. We had a stall, and initially it was going to be a book swap. You give us one book but by the end, these kids had come to us and they were like, please, and we just ended up giving away thousands of books. So the students are there, the desire is there to read, the resources are not. And as you said, book padhne ke liye bhi you need to be literate. And so I think, like, you know, our whole kind of system is failing us, because still there's a certain level of literacy. So kaise aage badhenge? How will the literacy increase? How will women come out of their shells and start, like, living a life of, like, well-being and agency and, you know, just emotional and physical wellness. So it's a much kind of deeper conversation.
इस बात की डेप्थ में जाऊंगी तो politics आ जाएगी.
But I'm not gonna do with that. Aside from the social change as a social benefit perspective, also if you look through our Instagram, we also are just very happy to share the joy of reading.
Yeah.
You know, we like to share the joy of getting new books and finishing a book.
With trends.
So that's a very big element. Also,
I've seen you making reels according to trends. According to
because you have to be relevant. You have to kind of cater to the current generation. Absolutely.
That's really
you got to be relevant.
Memorable moment of running the book club that you want to share.
I really actually enjoy, like, our business meetings because
बस वो टाइप की होती है.
That's just me and we start off all about all business. And I just like our conversations that it's not just about business and it's not gossip, but I like that with Kamila, I can talk about things that mean something to me, things that I've been thinking about, things that are troubling me, whatever. I just really enjoy an intellectual, but also emotional, meaningful conversation.
And the conversations really revolve around, I have to say, evolution, self-growth, self-care, well-being, just kind of taking some time for yourself and just, like everything doesn't need to be like go, go, go. Sometimes you just need to take a moment and, so we do that when, many times that's what our business meetings usually evolve into.
Do you get inspired or ever get impressed by her way of dressing up?
I love it. It's so uniquely her.
I work with.
It's yeah.
I don't know if she remembers it or not. Long time back, I saw her somewhere, and our children were studying in the same place. And I asked her, "I'm sorry, but I have to ask you this. Where did you get your clothes?" Desi market.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful prints.
She puts her own twist. Yeah.
And I said, "I'm sorry, I'm asking for my daughter."
Yeah.
So, and she said something I don't remember, but yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind of Walter.
Yeah. And the thing about her is she's not at all worried about peer pressure or kya trend kya chal raha hai, or she does completely her own thing. I think the way she lives her life, the way she dresses, so it's very uniquely her, and that's a great thing in this day and age where everyone's just trying to run onto a bandwagon.
That's same with me.
You both were. I must say that bookshelf is I mean great initiative. But strangely, you both of yours number was saved in my phone as your name and आगे लिखा हुआ था CPC.
Oh.
3 or year, whichever.
Okay. So, oh God, was I CPC?
C. Oh, no. It took me a minute to.
Yeah, must have been. I think I was at one point.
I was the coordinator from PTA.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
CPC for everybody's information.
Yeah.
Class parent
Coordinator. Yeah.
So, and I was like, wow, it's been ages. So, I think 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I don't even remember the years, but that was beautiful.
Yeah.
So, next, I would like to ask you both individually, was there any time that reading a book you actually cried?
Yes. It was A Little Life by Hania Yanegar. I don't say her name correctly, but it's a contemporary book, and it's full of pain, and the pain never seems to end. But she's written about it in such a way that it's not gratuitous. It's just a really beautiful story about people and how they handle the cards that they've been dealt.
Have you?
Yeah, I just read this book called The Covenant of Water by Abraham Burgess. It's the Oprah book club book as well. And it is just the most kind of beautiful, lyrical, immersive book that I've read in a long time. And I cried on that because it's a multi-generational saga. It's beautiful.
And I've also cried reading a book. Not just the book, also when the movie came out, I cried then too. But that book is not Kamila's, league, but it is Bridges of Madison County. Robert St. Waller.
That's
I think,
a classic,
Yeah, that book is written, I don't know what kind of profoundness it has.
Yeah.
It gives me goosebumps till date. I'm talking about it literally.
It's beautiful.
So बहुत अच्छा उसमें
Yeah.
लिखा हुआ है. So उसकी film भी अच्छी नहीं थी, but book was much better.
The book is always better.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
But do you agree with the Gone with the Wind as well? You
Okay.
have to make it.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, there are exceptions in my opinion. Definitely God with the Wind. I mean, I think like Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh, wow. And Harry Potter, they did a really good job.
They did just.
And Lord of the Rings, wow. Okay, I would say the movie is
Amazing.
as good, if not better than the books. So yeah.
So रोने की बात कर रहे थे तो मैं भी मैंने मूवी देखी था. It's a Turkish movie, Miracle in Cell Number 7.
Okay.
Have you seen?
No, I haven't.
You should.
Really?
It's about father and daughter love.
So guys, thank you very much. And I would like you to say something about the channel Wo Baatein Teri and your our podcast Gen X to Gen Z.
Gen Z.
And you being here. Please share your sentiments. How was it, and how do you feel about the channel and this initiative?
I think it's been absolutely delightful. I think you guys asked wonderful questions. And I've enjoyed being here. And I think their idea for the podcast, where you have two generations, I think will appeal to a lot of viewers. And I look forward to watching your future episodes as well as this one.
Thank you so much.
And you?
I think that you guys are doing a wonderful job. I think it was a very, very stimulating, relevant discussion. And the fact that you're trying to bridge the gap between the generations, I think is so necessary. And we need to start a discourse and to really kind of bring the two generations.
And I would like to give you something as a token of appreciation, which I thought about a lot. And मैंने बहुत सोचा कि क्या दिया जाए. बहुत सारे चीजें आई. लोगों ने कहा कि जी गिफ्ट बैग दे दो, गिफ्ट हैम्पर दे दो, कुछ ये दे दो, वो दे दो, फूल दे दो. I could have done anything, but I kept thinking, and as always,
Unique.
yes, I came up with something which I thought was priceless, which is priceless, and which is something very close to my heart, something that I do, something that I've achieved, and I'm very proud of. And you will read everything in it. And hey, Noya, can you please pass it on to Kamila, and we would want you to open it and see it, and we'll read it later.
Yeah.
Please go there.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate this.
This is for you.
Thank you very much.
I want to see what's in it.
Oh, should I?
Sorry.
I don't have my glasses. I hope I can.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, that ना Eid card gift.
हाँ, I know.
You know, मेरे पास पूरे पड़े हुए हैं.
हाँ.
बहुत सारे वो जो उस टाइम
Of course.
sister card.
No one gives cards anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you flip, then it says a bit.
About you.
This one, the whole profile.
Yeah.
Like what I do, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, good. This is fantastic.
I should read it properly when I have my glasses.
Yeah.
I can't read it right now.
When you read them and you share your whatever, if you want to share something about it, because this is something that you guys will have this whenever you feel like it. And this is next level with this stuff. So सारा कुछ लिखा.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate this.
क्योंकि ये किताबों की बड़ी हिफाजत से
हाँ.
ये भी बड़ी हिफाजत के लिए जाने वाली चीज़.
Biल्कुल.
It's not a, like showpiece or gift.
Actually, this is something which is remind you, which is again you can feel it too, and you can keep it too. That's
Yeah.
over here, and one day it will become a sort of a history material. Sorry, and one day it will become a sort of a memory, and then what you call this, you can keep it in your treasure box.
History of Gen X and Gen Z.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank you both again, Kamila and Erum, for being here. It was lovely talking to you, and we would like to have a conversation again sometime soon when you have something else going on, when we have something going on, inshallah. So keep watching Wo Baatein Teri and keep watching Gen X to Gen Z podcast. Noya, you have to say something.
मैं तो कहूँगी कि मुझे तो बहुत मजा आया. This was my first podcast. सीरीज का पहला एपिसोड था जो कि मैंने किया है. So I had my fun और मैंने बहुत कुछ सीखा आप तीनों लोगों से. So इंशाल्लाह मैं चाहूँगी कि फ्यूचर में भी हम इस पे बहुत काम करें. और नोया शाह की तरफ से आदाब है. लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें.
Very funny. Adab. Do you want to say Adab over there?
You have to say it. I do a real rule. Yeah, you have to say it.
And we don't have to do the action.
Yeah, you have to do that. Okay. Adab.
This is Kamila and Wo Baatein Teri की तरफ से आदाब.
Wow. That's nice.
मेरी भी तरफ से आदाब.